Welcome to Charmed Life, a radio show discussing spirituality, magic, and the unconditional love of the universe. Thanks for tuning in. And I'm Tricia Carr, your host. Thanks so much for being here today. It is a special broadcast. Normally, you will join me when you join me live, you'll be here with me at 11 a.m. Pacific time on Sunday morning. But I actually didn't do my broadcast just this past Sunday because my father passed away. And so thank you to everyone who reached out with condolences and support. I really, really do appreciate that. I'm actually going to talk about my father's passing on my upcoming Sunday show because it was an existential, very spiritual experience, and I would love to share it with you all as and to honor my father, and also just to honor all of us. So please do tune in, and tune in every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific. And then, of course, if you are catching us on the one of the archives, thank you so much for joining me on YouTube or iTunes or Spreaker. You can find the show in the archive by searching Charmed Life with Tricia Carr. And please do subscribe, share, comment. Oh, I answer every comment because I love you guys so much. And I really appreciate it. When you do join your energy by doing any of those things, by subscribing, sharing, writing reviews, commenting, then you actually are contributing your energy to this conversation, and you are bringing more light into this plane, and I really appreciate it. Another piece of business I want to share with you all. I have just today made live my telepathy class, an introduction to telepathy. It's an online course, and I'm super excited about it. I would love for you to go check it out. Just go to my website, triciacarcharm.com, and it's really I'm just so excited about it. So telepathy is actually our first language. Telepathy is being able to speak the language with our mind, with our thoughts. This is as opposed to the way I look at it, as opposed to clairsentience or empathic feeling, or what some people call telepathy, which is, of course, supporting our telepathy. But I'm actually looking at it like a language. Just if you think about if you were to study English as opposed to studying communicating with your partner or communicating with others. I'm studying the language piece of it. And the reason I think it's really important is because we are all ascending together. We have this global ascension going on. And what I mean by that is if you're here and you're attracted to this type of topic, it is because you are a spiritual seeker, and perhaps you have recently experienced something that was like a spiritual awakening. And so that speeding up of frequency, of vibration is happening to the entire planet, to all of the individuals, and actually to Gaia, to Mother Earth herself. She is actually raising in frequency. And what that equates to is being a more expanded, expressed kind of being, expanded as in being higher and closer to love, to creative source. And along with that, we're going to be communicating and unifying in different ways, in ways that are actually faster, simpler, and more pure. So what is purer than just mind-to-mind communication? And I'll tell you why I think that I was led to do this course. We are in the information age. We are able to communicate with one another instantaneously through email and the internet, and we didn't really know it was coming. We didn't see it. We didn't see this coming, and so we didn't get to practice what it's like to be in that realm together instantaneously. And as a result, we have some symptomatic stuff that shows up, like trolls and bullying and just people feeling like they're invisible when they're really not, and forgetting that they're actually communicating with other humans. So that's, for example, just a side effect of not really being able to practice what it feels like to be in that information age. So we're going from in the information age to the intuitive age, and we're going to be using intuitive kinds of communication, like telepathy. So I think it's a perfect time for us to practice that in advance, so that we can really bring our whole perfect selves to it, to bring more light to it as we're entering into it, and to be the pioneers of it in a holistic and beautiful way. So there's my piece about my telepathy class. Please do go check it out. And with that said, I am so excited to welcome my special in-studio guest. You guys have seen her before, and I know you guys love her because you tell me that you love her. And her name is Laura Powers. Welcome, Laura.
Oh, thank you. Well, the feeling is mutual. I'm so glad to be back today.
So Laura is a psychic and an entertainer and so many things, but podcaster. Tell us, please tell everyone about all of the wonderful podcasts. I mean, you have your own you're really a mogul at this point.
Oh.
And, tell everyone about your whole network.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah. So I started a podcast, my first podcast, which is called Healing Powers, on health, wellness, and spirituality. And I loved it so much that over the last several years, I've started others. And now I host 6 podcasts. I'm actually about to launch a 7th. So I host them on music, on the entertainment industry, on writing, because I'm a writer, on design, on business and lifestyle design. So yeah, it's a really fun thing. Basically, I just love talking with people, and I love teaching and sharing. So podcasting has been an amazing outlet for that.
What's the new one? I don't think I know about
well,
the new
I'm
one.
debating on names, but it's
Okay.
going to be a travel
Great.
podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've actually started the interviews already and just working on some of the branding stuff before I launch it. And I already talk about travel on some of my other shows because,
Sure.
as you know, I'm fully mobile. And
Yeah.
so, I have a passion for traveling and also being able to kind of be free and going wherever you feel like your intuition takes you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And that's very much along the lines of the topic that we
exactly.
we felt led to share today. So basically they can find your podcast by searching your name, Laura Powers.
Yeah.
Or should they look up the topics?
Yeah. In the individual topics, if you search my name, also my website, powershour.biz, which is my sort of coaching business website, lists them all, and you can find the links on the podcast page there. So that's one way to find them easily if you're not finding quickly via iTunes or Stitcher, wherever you're listening.
Right. And Laura does one-on-one work still.
Yes.
Yeah. And I do too, by the way. I sometimes people reach out to me and they're like, do you do one-on-one work? I guess I don't talk about it enough. I don't just do it here on the show taking phone calls, which, by the way, we are today, 323-524-2599. Give us a call. Really amazing opportunity to be able to speak with Laura. And we... Well, I'm not patting us on the back because I think I'm patting angels and divine on the back.
Listened.
Yeah. Well, we just are like we manifest very easily together. And we're both being kind of shown how easy it is to manifest when you're being easy about it, really.
Yeah.
And so that's what we wanted to talk about. So I just think it would be wonderful. I feel like we're going to have quite a few calls today too. I feel like we're going to take quite a few. A lot of times
Great, which is fun.
Yeah. A lot of times we have a lot of teaching to do, but today it feels like we're going to be a little call centered, if that makes sense. So, so let's see. You said your website already, Healing Powers.
Healingpowers.net is my sort of psychic, spiritual wellness website, and then powershour.biz is for coaching. And I specifically coach a lot of people that are wanting to launch a business in the sort of spiritual, health, wellness, psychic area, or have one that they want to grow.
Right.
Because it is a very specialized industry, and I have experience with that.
Yes. And part of the specialization of it is being your own specialized version of it.
That's true.
Even
That's true.
more so
Finding
than
your
other
niche.
industries. Yes.
Yeah, it is very important.
Well, so yes, we wanted to talk today about manifesting. And because we both were just talking about some different experiences and the different things that Spirit is talking to us about, and just how really that your gentle intention, the passive, very soft, easy intention is the most powerful thing, as opposed to forcing will, which is what I think the world or the ego kind of expression of the world teaches us.
Yeah, that part I think most people kind of get more easily because our society is that way. But really, the mastery of this is putting an intention out there and then listening for the cues and following up with them.
Yeah, so it does take patience. It takes clarity. And if you're saying, like, how do I get clarity? That's my problem. What's the answer, Laura?
Well, I think it's what I just said a minute ago, but it's tricky, which is listening and knowing how to deduce what is a message for you and what is not. So we receive those messages through our own voice that we hear in ourselves, like you're talking about, through telepathy, and then through signs and messages and feelings that we get as well.
And so far as the clarity piece, because I know a lot of people feel just so overwhelmed with all of the voices in the outside, and it's hard to hear. And a lot of very sensitive people, of course, are listening because Laura and I are extremely sensitive people, and so you're attracted via the per the law of attraction. But I just want to, as I say often on the podcast, is spending devotional time. Meditation is very important to be able to find that clear space in your mind. I felt led to say it that way, devotional time, because yes, meditation, and I think that that's highly important to find that clear space in the mind where there's no thought, even if it's a brief moment. But then the other things that are self-care, where it's reading and prayer and walks or exercise, those things, you have to just claim it. You have to just affirm it into your life. And I don't think that it's healthy to miss a single day. And I mean, it's not healthy for your family either.
Yeah, and also that it doesn't have to be a big thing. I feel like a lot of people, they're so funny where we get into this mindset thing. And I even have, did this recently for myself where I felt like I wanted to be doing yoga more. And I was like, well, it's so hard, especially with I travel all the time. So finding the yoga studio, and also I'm a night person. And so then by the time I feel like doing yoga, maybe there's not a place to go. And then I was like, wow, this is all just like, made up stuff
Chatter.
for me to, And even though I thought that there was a real reason, and then I decided to do a 30-day yoga challenge that's online, and I can literally do it any time of the day. So I do it at like midnight if I want to, which is, for me is perfect, like right before I go to bed. So, and these are 10 to 15 minute yoga sessions.
Yeah.
And I think you can do the same thing with meditation.
Yes.
That there are plenty of ways that you can do even just a little bit, even if you only have 5 minutes, do 5 minutes, because it does make a difference. And when we do yoga or meditate or take a walk or, any of those things that you mentioned, what it does is provide an opportunity for spirit to communicate with us. And since we can't talk and listen, then
At the same time.
at the same time, this is very important, because when our mind is busy, it's like we're talking and we can't hear our guidance. And so having this time is supremely important, not only just so that we feel better, but so that we can hear better and then take the guidance to answer our own prayers or help answer our own prayers.
Oh, and I just want to restate what Laura said, because it was this, you just, slipped it in there, but it's kind of like, what is the key to life? She answered it. But yeah.
Here you go.
When that mind chatter is going, it's like you're talking and you're not listening, And so the mind chatter is that incessant voice that it's really the outside voice, but when you keep staying in that vibration, it becomes your voice and you can't tell the difference.
Yes. Absolutely. And one of the other things I want to say about meditation in particular is that there's a reason they call it meditation practice. A lot of people get frustrated because they start to meditate and it's hard.
And the heavens didn't open the first time.
Yeah, the heavens didn't open. Their mind is busy and cluttered, or that's what it feels like. And they find it stressful, and it's very much like exercising. I mean, no one would ever go to the gym one time and be like, oh my gosh, I don't have a bikini body, or I don't have, I can't lift, 100 pounds bench press. That's it. I give up, but I feel like a lot of people are like that with meditation. And it's important to recognize that the benefits of the practice come from the practice itself.
Yes.
And you're not going to necessarily feel the benefits of the meditation during the practice right away. Later you do.
You do.
But
really not that long of a time.
No, but a lot of people don't get through that first part. And it's important to, even if you are feeling discomfort, to just sit through it and know that it will be beneficial for you.
Right. And I started with the 5 minutes a day thing. And for me, this is a suggestion. Not everyone is aligned with this, but I took this kind of from also Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is a neuroscientist. And first thing in the morning, before you've started any other conversations, and by conversations, I mean picking up the phone mostly, and looking at the email.
Or turning on the TV or whatever.
Because, in the morning, we have a fresh start because we withdrew our consciousness from this plane. So when we start in the morning, you haven't started all of the same thoughts. And Dr. Joe Dispenza says that we think 95 of the same thoughts we thought today were the same ones we thought yesterday. So if you can get in there and raise your vibration and start a communication with your inner being / creator / source energy / God, all the same stuff, that's all the same stuff, then you're just going to have a better shot at starting something new and manifesting easier. There's a segue.
Yes. It's huge having that time to listen to yourself, and find out what you truly and deeply want and feel, as well as paying attention better to your angels and spirit guides is going to help your manifestation abilities so hugely.
Right. And so maybe we should share the story that just dropped into our lap on the
Yeah,
way here.
sure. That's the part where it's like, we listened, even though, we asked and then we listened. And those are the two main steps. Yeah, let's do it.
Well, okay. So Laura is actually in town visiting, and she's staying at my house. And
Yay, which is so fun.
Yeah, it's so fun because Barnabas, my kitty Barnabas, is in love with her. And I'm a little bit jealous. No, I'm kidding. I'm not jealous at all.
Barnabas too. But don't be jealous.
But so she's staying at my house, and my street has... it's kind of, it's kind of in a city area, so it's like you're only supposed to park there for 2 hours between 9 and 6 or something like that. And I have a parking pass to bypass that. And so last night we went out, and when we came home, I was like, "Oh, I need to give you that parking pass, but whatever, I'll do it in the morning." And I was like, "They never really check." And I felt a little. Be honest, I felt a little nudge, but I was like, "No, they never check. They never go down this street. They never check." And then I heard, actually, I didn't tell you this part, but they're street sweeping on the other side, so the parking cop will be coming by in the morning.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "No, it's fine. He's gonna come." And no, I just pushed it away. And then and then this morning, I think it was probably at about 10, which makes a lot of sense. That's when the parking guy goes by. I felt that again. Go put that pass on Laura's car, and I was like, "No, I'm busy. I can't. And sure enough, she got a ticket.
Yes, yeah. And that's, I think that's one of the challenges is deducing what is your thought and what is a nudge, like you described.
Yeah.
But I think, even when these things happen, every time you learn better which one is which.
Yes.
And it gets easier.
And it is about being easier. If I had slowed down, and one thing, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
What I notice if I'm easy and I'm taking my time and I'm not being rushed and stressed and thinking I have to do this, if you really just kind of look at it very simply and binarily, like love and fear. So me saying I'm too busy is more fear related than, at least it was for me at that moment. It was more like I can't stop because I have this deadline. Whereas sometimes that could be just those simple words could be love related. Like I need to do something for love's sake, for my sake or something. But just for me, I can just share that for me, that wasn't really centered in love. And so if I had been a little easier, I could have heard that.
Yeah, but on another story, which happened right before we literally came here, was we were a little bit tight on time. And so right after this happened where we learned about the parking ticket, we came in and we're trying to figure out where to park in order to get here quickly for the recording of the show. And we both, two psychics in the car, felt, okay, turn left. And then we did. And then immediately there was this basically like rock star parking spot, like right in front of the studios, which was amazing. Free. Yeah. So we saved time not having to pay, and we didn't have to pay. So
yeah, it was really funny, and it was like Laura says, it's a rock star parking space. It's so rock star that we were like, "Is that a space? Is that really a space? How's that possible? That's a space?" Right in Hollywood. So, and like you said the angels really have compassion because we learned our lesson. Yeah.
Well, I feel like the angels are constantly telling us, but they don't judge us. I mean, they're not like, "Oh, she didn't listen." They know. I think they know that it's difficult for us. It's difficult incarnated, and in fact, there are many incarnated angels here right now who are basically doing research to try to understand that piece, because it's one thing in theory, it's another thing in practice. But I think mostly angels are pretty understanding about that, and they just keep trying harder. The other thing you can do, which if you have enough time, it's always amazing to me what comes forward, is to literally ask for a sign in the natural world.
Yeah.
And the signs that come through are amazing sometimes, like so specific that it's kind of ridiculous. Like I'll laugh at them sometimes.
Yeah.
Did I tell you my travel story?
I don't think so.
So we already mentioned I travel a lot, and for the last few years I've been doing a lot of travel, and I was feeling like there was it was when I was living in Burbank still, and I was getting the message to travel, and I said, "Angels, please send me a message that's very clear." And then I went to my next appointment, which happened to be downtown Burbank. And then I was driving back and drove by a travel agent, which, by the way, I'd never seen before, that said Travel Laura. Like that was the name of the travel agency. Or the sign anyway. It was said Travel
Your
Laura.
sign?
It was like
sign was a sign that said Travel Laura?
Yeah, it was. That's what I mean. It was so like clear and specific. And then another time that I can give that was also so clear was I had, this is several years ago, and I felt like I had gotten the message to raise my prices, and So I, once again, was just checking in. Am I an ego? Am I really getting this? And I asked the angels for a sign that was really clear that I could not misunderstand.
Right.
You know, I'm like, I just want to be so clear, guys. So I'm driving home from Denver to Lafayette, which are where I was living at the time, and get home, and in my mailbox, I'm not kidding you, is a business magazine, and the headline article on the cover is 10 reasons why you should raise your prices.
Laura.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're like. They might as well like circled it and highlighted it for me. Yeah. So if you feel like you're unclear, it is possible to ask for these kinds of messages to help you out.
And it's so fun. How weird and fun is that? And I like my best friend Tammy and I sometimes we'll get signs and we'll be like, oh, come on. That's bad writing, universe. Come on. You're not even trying. Like, that's not even clever. It's so obvious. It just is a joke, obviously.
Right. Yeah, totally.
Well, I'm getting actually a pull. I feel like there is someone when you said incarnated angels, and someone's like, okay, I want to know what angels are.
Yeah.
I want you guys to explain that. And then, of course, explain what incarnated angels means. So let's talk about, I know that's not spot on our topic, but I guess it is because we need to know how to work with our angels.
Sure. Yeah. Well, the conversation goes sometimes where it needs to
go. Yes.
So the way I think of angels is beings of light that are here to help us. And so even though they're described a lot in religions all over the world, I don't think of them as religious. I mean, they just kind of are, and they've been described by various religions and cultures. But they're beings of light that are here to help us, and they're very loving beings. And they, generally speaking, are not incarnated. They're on, the other side or the spiritual plane. That said, they have souls just like, most humans have souls and animals have souls. And it is possible for them to incarnate here in human form.
Right.
And I've gotten the message that this is a pretty critical and important time in human history and the history of the planet as a whole, not just for humans. And so there's a lot of incarnated angels that are specifically in human form right now. And I actually believe that I am an incarnated angel.
Right.
And I communicate very easily with the angelic realm, like that just kind of comes naturally to me as a psychic.
And so, just to, because I've had people ask me this before, because I think sometimes in some cultures, I think that some people think, well, when you pass away, that you become an angel. But that's not, I don't want to say that I know anything for absolute certain because I'm always wanting to learn. But like Laura says, angels they are beings of light. So essentially they are, just some people actually call them like thoughts of God or something like that. They're closer to source energy, and generally speaking, they haven't incarnated. But of course there are,
there's some that do.
There's some that do. And there's also another exception. We have archangels. So there's like different kinds of levels. And so the archangels, I'm sure you mostly have heard of, are like the governing kind of tier, and they're overseers and organizers, really. And there are two archangels who are considered or believed or understood to have been men that ascended all the way up to archangeldom.
And I feel like that's a little bit of misinterpretation. Again, this
really?
is my personal perspective.
I want to hear it, please.
Well, I believe that they were angels who incarnated.
Oh, and then they reascended.
They reascended.
That makes sense.
That's like from the human perspective, they were human and then they ascended. But
that makes a lot of sense to me. And that's actually what I was thinking. Like you're an incarnated angel.
Yeah.
So then would you ascend back up into angeldom? Maybe. Or maybe you choose to be a spirit guide. Who knows? Yeah.
Well, I think that you can, we're still all learning lessons and everything as well. So, I've had a lot of human lives, but I guess I think of it as like we have our physical kind of DNA as an incarnated being, and then we have our sort of soul DNA.
Yes, right.
And so like my soul DNA is an angel type of DNA. And there are many different types. If you want to learn more about this, there's a book I recommend by Doreen Virtue called Earth Angels.
Yes.
And it goes into some of the different types. And I think that was very helpful for me. And because there are different sort of personality aspects that often show up. So like incarnated angels are often like over helpers. We try so hard to help, and the kind of wounded healer type of paradigm. There are often even physical aspects, like they often have lighter hair, lighter eyes, or they might dye their hair,
round faces. I mean, not exclusively, but there's some similar stuff. Yeah.
And so when I read that, it was like, oh yeah, that it just resonated. And ever since I was young, people have called me angel and, things like that.
Yeah.
It's just so, it can just be helpful to learn about it. There's also incarnated elementals,
which I am,
which yeah, Tricia is. And then there are some that could be a combination actually.
Yeah. You could be hybrids of an angel and an elemental and, So and Dory, I recommend that book as well too. And so when I was reading the Earth Angel book, she's going through all the different kinds, and I'm like, there's like the wise ones who are like people who were like wizards and sorcerers in other lives and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like reading, and I'm like, and there's fairies, and there's wood fairies, and there's wood nymphs, and I'm reading all of the descriptions, and I'm like, no, and I'm like, not really, no, kind of, angel, no, like I'm reading all the things, and then finally I get to this one part in the elemental category, and I'm like, yes, 100%, and even the physical part, and it turns out I'm a leprechaun. And the hilarious part of that was I already knew that I had leprechaun guides. Yeah. Really, you guys, okay, you can think we're woo-woo if you want, but really leprechauns, it's not just a legend. They are a type of elemental being, and there's a whole history to them too. And I actually remember the history. I have a soul. I have like a recovered past life memory of the history, but like even the physical. Yeah, I know, me too. I just started to get them too. But the physical aspect that is kind of common with leprechauns is having a little bit of a paunchy stomach. And even when I was like, there was this like period where I was like underweight, I was like too thin, and I still had it's just the shape of my body.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, oh my
you're
gosh.
very thin.
Right. It's just the shape. And then, not to mention that, so I'm reading this and I'm like, I'm a leprechaun. That's not as cute as a fairy or a pixie.
But you're adorable.
No, thank you. I know. But I was like, what? And then I realized, by the way, as I finished, I was like, okay, I'm a leprechaun. Then I realized, oh yeah, like it took me the whole thing, and then accepting it. My birthday is March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, that is like beyond like hello, sign. I know, it's awesome. It's almost like the universe being like
I know, that's exactly what I said. I was like that. And one of the characteristics of leprechauns is they love to play jokes, and they love to be silly and just be hilarious and tell jokes. And I was like, I just played a 40-year joke on myself by choosing March 17th.
You're right.
I was 40 at the time.
That is amazing. I love that. And I think you can actually help yourself by figuring out what your type is, because then you can learn how to better operate. And by the way, yourself. I mean, leprechauns manifest really well, especially money, so, and that is something you can do, is call on guides or call on types of beings that are good in whatever area it is that you're wanting to get help with. So if you're wanting to manifest money, call on leprechaun guides, or, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. It's just, if you think about it, like in the, that real world, so quote unquote, if you wanted to learn more about business, you would read a business book, and it's the same thing. Well, I think when you do that, actually, you are calling on those requisite guides too.
That too, yeah. Or if you want help with your garden, call on elemental beings that work with the earth,
flower fairies,
So it's like calling on the right helpers for the job.
I agree. Well, we have a caller, so let's take the call. Hi, you're on the air. Who's this? Hello.
This is Danielle.
Hi, Danielle. How are you? Where are you calling from?
Hi. I'm actually calling from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Laura is here with us. What's on your mind today?
I'm kind of in transition, and I'm not really, I feel all over the place, but yet not moving. So I was just really wanting to know if there's any direction as to where I should go from here. I'm kind of lost right now.
Yeah. Okay. Are you getting some?
Yeah. So I'm getting right away, actually, that the first part of this message that we had in this podcast is for you about really finding that time to ground and clear your energy. They show me just kind of spinning wheels. There's a lot happening, but
I got running to stand still now.
Yeah, that it's important to actually pause, be with yourself, because right now you want movement, but it's almost like you're being pulled in different directions. And so it's really important to get to yourself, to clear out all the excess and just really get back to you so that you can figure out where you want to go from there.
Mm-hmm. It's and I'm and also this is something that actually if you don't, Danielle, I think you might like a video that I posted just actually last week on Thursday. So go to youtube.com/Tricia Carr, because there is a video that I posted. It's actually all along this topic as well. So Danielle, if you asked yourself right now, if I had all of the resources and all of the opportunities
and the time,
all of it, what do I want to do? Do you have an answer to that question?
Yeah, I really want to be an entrepreneur.
Excellent. Okay, so keep asking that. That's beautiful. So that's perfect. And then keep asking that question, and fill in every single feeling that you have about what that picture looks like. So the video that I just posted, I talk about basically the universe is like, it's like ordering on the menu. You get to go and read the menu and imagine what it's like to have all of those dishes and have a virtual experience, but then you make your decision and then you just place your order and wait. You don't the message here is to give yourself that time and space to peacefully and patiently and lovingly, all of that with yourself, not about the world, but all about you paying all of that patience and love to yourself to be able to fill in those all of that stuff without the overwhelm and the overthinking and everything, to give yourself that place, that space, and then put the pieces together, and then just be relaxed and easy about allowing the signs to come forth, the different action steps to take.
I'm also getting that you are very, very telepathic, and part of one of your struggles is that when you start to make a decision and then there's all this kind of mind stuff that comes up, questioning it and kind of backtracking or maybe choosing something different. And so it's important that once you've decided, just to have faith in your ability to make that decision and keep moving forward and don't doubt. And if you find doubt, I mean, it's very common for this to happen, then do meditate, do yoga, take your walks, do whatever helps you to release that. And they're showing me tapping. Have you ever explored tapping before?
Yeah, I have actually, just recently.
Okay, good.
Great.
So tapping on whatever pops up as like those doubts and fears that are specific for you once you've made that decision. And keep in mind that when you're making a decision, it is very much like placing an order with the universe. So you want to be clear and direct about the things that you do want, that you know, and then leave the things that are not important to you, like up to them to kind of fill in the blanks.
And are you a mother?
Oh, thank you so much for that. I am not.
You're not a mother?
Not yet.
Okay, but this is something you're planning. Is this something you've been envisioning having a child?
Yes, very much lately, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Tricia's very good at this one, I know from, we'll just say personal experience. Not me, but through someone I know.
Oh, right.
Well, I don't want to say what it is here, but let's just say that she's good at this.
Right. I saw someone else's child, and then Laura got while she's visiting, and then she's like, hey, she is pregnant while she's been visiting.
Yeah.
This is just so you can relax about that piece too. This is in your future. You have there's a child. You already know that you're already talking to your child, right? You're the child that you're okay. You already know that.
Yeah.
That's why I thought you might already be a mother, because there's one child and you're already talking to her. It kind of feels like, and so yeah. So just know, and you can relax about that. That's going to happen in perfect divine timing, as is everything. So it's so wonderful. I'm loving feeling your energy of you as a mother. So and you don't have to stress about that. You don't have to look at the clock and the biological clock. I don't have any idea how old you are, but that is something they start telling us to worry about at like 23.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, right.
Yeah, she's going to be in your life. Yeah.
And I'm getting to that
great.
In general, things are going to work out well. So not to stress out. And just these tools and techniques are just going to help you get there maybe a little bit faster and just feel more at peace on your journey as you get there.
And so the entrepreneurship that you, it is something sort of in the wellness spiritual realm, yes?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So then know that that's going to come to pass, because, I mean, why not? Because because you're here to shine your light. And of course, all of the cooperative components are going to be there for you. So just to be in that space And wow. Well, please do keep in touch.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Well, I will.
Okay.
No, it was exactly what I needed to hear.
Okay, good.
Thank you so much, you both.
So
You're
then
welcome.
you
I feel
placed
so much better.
Danielle, you placed your order and you got exactly what you ordered.
Yeah.
And so that's just how life is.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm so grateful.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for calling, sweetie.
Thank you. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
That's
love
funny. I
that.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
I'm calling forth everyone's children.
Yeah. Well, it is funny because that's one of the things that happens as you develop as a psychic. You start to figure what are some just really natural things that kind of pop in for
Yeah.
you. And yeah, psychics can work in a lot of different areas, but we often have particular areas where it's just a
Yeah.
natural kind of easy thing that just comes up.
I'm manifesting other people's children. It's a new
Yeah.
niche. I didn't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, and also we changed in that too, because
Sure.
again, that's
Yeah.
what life is. That's what is one of the cool things about life, but particularly for Laura and me, because we're both Life Path 5, which is all about adventure and change.
Yes. Yeah. So we're going to change more in maybe a year than some people might
Yeah.
in terms of path and everything than in their life.
Yeah.
Like I have seen that
Right.
with people that I know. Just I'm always, doing a lot of different things.
And that's your choice. And
and that-
some people
yeah.
like to be just
And that's not
peaceful
better
and-
or,
yeah.
worse than another way, but it just is
Yeah.
the way that I operate and how you operate.
yeah, and you think about like the different seasons. Who was just saying that? Oh, actually, it was my cousin who was visiting as well, and he was saying he just mentioned it popped into my ping. Like pay attention to this. He was talking about living in different areas where there's more seasonal differences,
Yeah.
as opposed to one place that's like mostly one season and then a short other season. Like one place isn't better or worse, especially as the planet is concerned, needs all of those places.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But everyone aligns with them differently.
Yes.
Yeah. And it can change. And that's
Right.
okay.
Right. Absolutely. We have another caller. Let's take
Woohoo.
another call. Hi, who's this?
Hi, it's Ashley.
Hi, Ashley. Where are you calling from?
How are you? I'm actually from North Carolina as well. I'm from Fayetteville.
Oh my goodness. Do you know Danielle? Do all North Carolinians know one another?
No, but it's funny because I thought she kind of sounded like me for a minute. I was like, oh, wow. I guess all North Carolinians sound the same. It's
That's
kind of
so
weird.
funny.
Well, what's on your mind today?
I just needed, I don't know if this is even appropriate to ask, but like a time frame for when my career life and financial life are going to actually switch gears and start changing and start moving forward. So it's kind of funny. It's very similar to what Danielle's question was.
You guys need to start a club,
Yeah.
a fellowship
I know,
or
for
something.
real. And it's been a great podcast because I've been listening. I've actually been manifesting as well and using a journal and candles and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, let's hurry up.
Oh, I know.
I'm trying to be patient, but I will admit that is one of my flaws. It is definitely not my strong suit.
Yeah, well, that's okay. We're physical, we're incarnated, and the body, the physical, the ego hates change and transition. And so that's why we want to hasten transition, because the body, which is very much a part of us, is saying change is scary because why should things change? We're not dead by what has been happening so far.
Mm-hmm.
So don't change things. So we want to hasten and get to the next thing. And so it's perfectly natural. So don't kick yourself for being wanting the change and the transition to complete. And Laura and I, like we just said, we live in transition because we're always changing things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you getting something for Ashley?
So I first of all, I'm getting, it's not a coincidence that you just heard the last caller. So basically
Yeah.
everything we said for her
ditto.
is in terms of how you approach everything is for you as well. And then they're telling me that there's some pretty big changes coming for you. I would get between 5 to 6 months from now. That said, that you can use these techniques to help shift. And then they're giving me a specific tool or technique for you, which is to really be clear on setting your intentions. And this is something that works well for me in investing money or other things. And then it's almost like we put out what we want, but then if we decide what we're going to do to help make it happen and be clear, it starts to get the ball rolling. And it's very bizarre because the things that we might decide to do don't necessarily have to do with how it manifests. It just kind of, to me, shows the universe that we're willing to do our part. So whatever your goal is, sit down, brainstorm, and think, what are like mini steps that are mini goals that are a part of that. And then what can I do to start making these things happen? And then start doing them. And one of the things that does is it gives you a focus, and it helps also with putting your focus and direction into the energy of what it is that you want to manifest. And then also, the meditating and everything else to help you with the peace of mind and the patience and all that as well.
And you're doing your devotional practice. I feel like, so you're doing it most days, but there are some days still that you're like, I don't have time, or I didn't get to do all of it or something like that. Yeah. Okay. And so you're getting to the place where you're going to give yourself that time every single day. And then you're going to feel a lot more at peace about everything. And you're actually, and it's okay to give yourself even more time. Even, give yourself just to be really extreme, give yourself 2 hours in the morning. And I'm not saying you have to do it, but just start playing around with that in your mind, whether you do it or don't, but so that you can create that space. You can create the space from which to manifest. And I got something similar when you were saying, I got break it down into pieces, the different things and then spend time with it. You can do things like read books and then make affirmations about those different pieces, and then do that in your devotional time, in your meditation and your journaling. Do some of that. Have you ever heard of a practice called conscious envisioning?
Yes.
Okay. So where you basically imagine your perfect day or perfect week to the 100th detail. I think it's a good time to do that. And that's going to break it down into pieces for you too, to be able to just feel all of those feelings very passionately, because you know that our vibration is actually our feelings. That's literally what our vibration is. It's our emotions emitting out. That's the frequency that we send out. So feeling the feelings of your desires is what is going to raise your vibration and calibrate you to the manifestation. And you got 5 to 6 months, and then I got something about a year to 14 months where it's going to be a big pop. You're getting where I think she's going to start coasting at that time.
Yeah. And then there's maybe another big jump. Yeah. And by the way, for timelines, I always tell people this is what I'm getting kind of the energy of now. So it is possible for you to do a lot of work and shift things, because everything's constantly in flow and in flux.
Right. We read the energy as a snapshot of what it is right now. And I think that you can allow that to be helpful and be like, oh, well, I can do anything for 5 to 6 months or a year. Allow it to be helpful like that, but then also take the empowerment that, but everything is possible, but I can do it tomorrow too, but we can do it tomorrow. And yours is also a spiritual practice, right? You're what you're manifesting, the work and the career is in the wellness spiritual realm. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you sure you're not Danielle?
I know, right?
That's so fun. Yeah. No, but seriously, what about a development circle? Because I'm sure in North Carolina, that's something that people could use. You know what I mean by a development circle? Because a lot of people they really actually are looking for that. And it's been suggested to me and I haven't done it. You can do it on meetup.com, because fellowship is really helpful too.
Yeah, and I was just telling Tricia, I recently started a mastermind group, and it's the same thing. It's just having a peer group where you can mutually support each other, give each other encouragement and tools and tips is so powerful. So finding your kind of tribe and community and connecting in is extremely powerful way to shift and shift faster in my experience. You have some really great leadership abilities. You have a very natural leadership that is very connective. It's like you're the gentle, charismatic leader is what I feel. Is this something you've already experienced?
Yeah, I actually teach dance during the day.
Oh, well, that's quite charismatic.
Evenings, I guess I should say. So, yeah. So that's my muggle job, and then I have spirit work for my non-muggle job.
Beautiful. Yeah. Love that.
I love the muggle thing because, it's definitely something a lot of psychics use that term. The magics and the non-magics.
I know, and I love that Ashley's muggle job is in art. No big. Yeah. That's spiritual as well.
Yeah, you're totally right.
It is spiritual. I know. I look at it as spiritual both ways, but I get paid.
Yeah, of course.
For that one.
That's great.
I don't get paid yet, but I would like to.
That's great. Well, anything else? Any other question or thought?
No, ma'am.
Okay, well.
Thank you so much for your time, guys.
Thank you. And you stay in touch. Let us know how it goes. Thanks for calling.
Okay, great. Have a good one.
You too.
How are we doing on time, Jarvis? Hi, Jarvis. We didn't say hi to Jarvis.
Oh, hi.
We've got how many minutes? Oh, 15. Oh, we started late. I forgot. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that was love both those calls, North Carolina.
Yeah. And I was thinking, you haven't lived in North Carolina, have you?
Me? No.
Yeah, yeah, me either. So that's so interesting. Because I have a lot of clients in LA, New York, Colorado, and Louisiana. Those are all places where I spend a lot of time. So it's interesting that this North Carolina thing.
Yeah, that is. I think the only people that I have clients in LA, not that much. Yeah, they're really like friends or acquaintances.
Okay.
But I guess that's how, a lot of yours kind of built up that way too. But because of the online presence, I have them all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's true. It's just, I find that I often will meet people and then then the online thing picks up because most of my clients I see over the phone, but it's still like, even though it's that way, there's still a lot of them are from the places where I used to live. It's
right.
I mean, I do have them other places, but it does happen that way. It's interesting.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. So let's see. We talked, what have we talked about? Where are we with our manifesting made easy? I think Danielle and Ashley really got us.
Yeah. No, I think
really far.
Yeah, but I think we were still, on track talking about it. Well, maybe we should just share some like manifesting tips that we have.
Yeah, great.
So, I mean, we talked about it a little bit. I have found it so helpful to actually write stuff down and to be clear, and also putting on a timeline. And that doesn't mean that it's going to come in at exactly that time, but at least gives you a sense of when you're aiming for, when the universe is aiming for.
It gives you excitement too.
Yeah.
Which is important. Excitement is important.
Yeah. And there's that principle, I'm trying to remember what it's called, but basically that a task will fill up however much time you give it. And so it's important on a manifesting level too, because you could say, I want to write a book. And they're like, okay, before you die, you want to write a book. That's kind of like you have 70 years or whatever. Yeah. So providing that level of detail, I've learned with manifesting, the details are really, really important. I remember one time I had made a list for someone that qualities of someone that I wanted to date or be with, and it cracked me up so badly. It was almost like the angels playing a joke on me, because I literally met a man every night who was about to fly out because of where I was staying. They were staying at the same place that I was. For like 5 days, I met people that had some of those qualities. And then the next, like, and then I was fine. And then it was like, oh, in one person. Like I would like,
yeah, by the way,
that would all be in one person, just to be clear,
Here's many.
Yeah.
Taste them all.
Yeah. Yes. So, I mean, that is a real thing of like even the things that you don't think you necessarily need to state, you kind of need to.
Right. Well, because the video that I was just talking about, I was actually talking to a client, and I asked her that question, like, if you had all of the resources, time, and opportunities, do you know what you want to do? And she started laughing because she was like, of course I don't. Like, I mean, no. Like, how ridiculous that I'm complaining I haven't manifested anything when I haven't even placed my order yet. I was like, well, yeah. The details are important, though.
The details are important. And then also, sometimes we deeply think we want something, but we also have a lot of inner resistance, or there's a part of us which actually completely rejects it.
Doesn't believe in it.
It doesn't believe in it, is afraid of it. And so I think it's important to be clear and then to work on whatever that kind of negative opposite reaction is. Okay, so if it's a disbelief that it can happen, work on that. If it's a fear of what will happen if you do get it, that maybe people then will reject you or it'll be stressful or whatever, work on that. So you can do that through tapping, through meditation. There's so many different ways that you can clear those blocks.
And bringing your awareness to it.
Yeah, even just becoming aware sometimes is enough. And kind of going down the path. The other thing that can be helpful is when you're trying to figure out what you want is to check in with yourself and double check that it's really for the right reasons. And by the right reasons, I mean that it's going to bring you what you think that it will bring you.
Right.
Because that's the other piece is you maybe think you want something, but on a deep soul level, it's not really it either. And then you kind of block it.
Right.
So if you check in and then you ask yourself, why do I want this? And then see what that answer is. It might surprise you.
And I think, yes, and the details, like you say, I think pursuing all of those details is a good way to find those blocks too.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you come across those blocks, so for example, I want to do this thing, but you're like, but no one does that. No one makes money off of that. The world doesn't support that. just, give yourself some space and trust your heart, and then start to ask the questions about what your disbeliefs are and why, and then you can start to release those different kinds of disbeliefs by looking at all of the details. And then, of course, detach yourself from the details. Don't expect everything, because the universe is actually going to deliver something that is even better than those details.
Yeah, and
inclusive and then better.
Totally. And we're living in a very magical time, actually, with the advent of the internet and technology, that things that previously would have been impossible and to make money in certain ways. I mean, you can make money doing almost anything right now. I mean, it's really kind of crazy in some ways, but amazing in a magical way.
Yeah, it is.
What's possible. And so if we have a belief system that is the opposite of that, we can work on it. And then one thing that I'm getting to share is, if you believe that, like, let's say there's a lack mentality in your family or in your circle, go someplace where there is a ton of money,
right?
Just to
just to feel it,
just
be
to
in that
feel
vibration.
it, and to show affirmations in the world that this is possible. No, there are people that will literally just spend $10,000 in an outfit in an afternoon just for fun. Like, go to Rodeo Drive, or go just to kind of check it out and affirm for yourself that it's possible.
Yeah, I've done that before. I mean, I've been literally in some fancy hotel event, and I was like, I just felt it. I was like, ooh, this feels different. I'm not usually around this. And you're tapping into that vibration.
Yeah.
And actually just exploring it. Maybe you don't want $10,000 outfits.
Right. And exactly. I'm not saying that that's what you should, but whatever it is that feels like a stretch, or like, ooh, I don't know, go
expose yourself to
check that out. If you want to be a filmmaker, go to, go be on set.
Go be an extra on set.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have a call, Jarvis? Okay, great. Well, let's take another caller. Hello, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Hi, my name's Michelle. I'm from Canton, Ohio. How are you tonight?
Great. How are you, Michelle?
I'm good. I was just sitting there waiting. I kept hearing beeps, and I'm like, oh, is it me? Is it me?
It's you. What's on your mind?
Well, I've got some troubles. I mean, I guess my troubles are getting better. I know that I'm a strong empath, and I lost my boyfriend in November. He got hit by a car and he died, so I've been suffering, and I'm lost, and I've actually quit associating. I mean, I go to work. In fact, I picked up a second job to keep my head busy, but I've quit helping people because I feel so lost myself, and I miss him.
Yeah. Okay. What's his name?
Steven.
Okay. I don't think he's crossed.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Let me check here.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's part of why you're struggling, is because he's basically kind of holding on to your light, and then he's in struggle. So then you're picking up on that as an empath.
Yeah. Do you feel?
Tell me again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just that.
Tell me again.
Yeah, that he's not crossed, and so that's part of your struggle, is you're picking up on his pain and his sadness, and he's kind of holding on to your light, and then it can feel like a drain for you right now because he's stuck.
And saying that, but at the same time, November was not that long ago, and the grieving process takes as long as it takes. Yes,
right.
But I think you're calling because you feel like there's something more than the grieving process, that you haven't been able to kind of continue with the grieving process, and you're resonating with a lot of the terror of it, and yes, you're feeling that fairly palpably. Michelle? Yeah.
I struggle because I talked to him right before it happened, and I feel guilty, like maybe I should have said this or I could have said that. And but I want to move on so bad. I don't want to keep feeling like this. I cannot. Like, I'm a really happy girl. I'm silly, I'm funny, I'm a motivator, and I'm not. I'm just now starting to be who I am again. I mean, like, I'm starting to laugh and lead people again, but I just feel so sad all the time, and I just always go back to that dark place, and I can't stand it at night, and in the morning I'm always depressed, and I want to move on. I know I have a purpose here, and I've got to get on my path, but yet I can't.
Yeah. So I'm getting we could just open up the light together.
He's moving on, right?
Yeah.
Michelle, I'm sorry. I'm a little teary-eyed because Stephen is actually, he's saying, I didn't know, and we telling him that he can move on, he can cross over. He didn't intend to cause you to have his presence cause you this pain. And he understands that he can move on. And I feel like, go ahead, Laura, you were saying,
I was just saying that this is part of something that you can do, also for others, not just Stephen, but that we should all just visualize the light opening up for him. And also I think he needed for you to give him permission to move on. And I get that there's a part of him which was thinking that he needed to stay for some reason.
He wants to take with him. He's asking if he can please take with him that guilt, because that isn't how he wants to take it with him so that it can transmute, because it isn't serving anybody. That guilt that you have, it's not true. It's an illusion. It's a disillusion. So so here's the thing. When he crosses over, he's going to be able to have peace. He's going to heal. And then when he is, to the place where he can come back and be a guide, and then it's only going to be love again. You're only going to feel the love. You're not going to feel the loss. I mean, that takes a while. I don't want to diminish the feeling of loss
as an empath, a lot of this pain and sadness that you're feeling is also coming from him. So I think it's important to give yourself permission to grieve, as Tricia said, but also to understand that a lot of what you've been feeling is also not yours.
Right.
And that he's grieving the loss of his life.
Right.
That he didn't feel ready. So, but once he crosses over and is fully in the light, he will feel at peace with that. So, with your permission, if we can just focus right now and open up the light for him and just let him know that he has permission, he'll start that process.
Will you give it? Is that okay with
Please
you, Michelle?
do.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
so
Great.
Just
Yeah. Please, anything. My God, just to move on. I just want to be better. I just want to think differently. I don't want my head to go back there. I have a hard time driving. I see the accident a lot.
Yeah. So just now for yourself, just pause here for a moment. Just kind of take a moment to say goodbye, and visualize that light for him.
And if you want to unclench your hands and release that guilt and know that that guilt is just a disillusionment, it's not true, it isn't representative of your love, and just release that. And he's just taking it with him because he's going to take it into the light, and it'll instantaneously be transmuted back to neutral, high vibrational energy.
And then I'm also asking the angels to release because I feel like he's already starting that transition, to release that, any heaviness that he's releasing, because, a lot of times when spirits cross, they leave that kind of emotional heaviness, and we want that gone. So asking Archangel Michael and the angels to clear that.
Yes.
Okay.
And he's transitioned in, and Archangel Azrael is actually bringing his light into your presence as well to help you with the transition as well. He's the Archangel of transition, and he's bringing some comfort. You're going to, if you so choose, you'll be able to just say a prayer tonight, and you'll be able to sleep very soundly. And then you'll wake up having dropped a lot of this down into Mother Earth, and she's going to change it for you. And then you'll wake up with your feet underneath you, and you'll take a different step tomorrow morning. Michelle.
I hope so.
Yeah, well, please do check back in with us. If it feels a little bit different and it feels lighter and you feel void, just know that it's okay. Everything is happening as it should, and he's having his peace, and he's in his healing now, and you can go ahead and move forward with yours as well.
But I am getting that it is good for you to take time for yourself. So take time doing that. And it looks like we have to wrap up, because I think we're almost...
we have to wrap up the show. Thank you so much for calling in. Please do call in again.
Thank you, Tricia. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
You can call again on Sunday.
Have a good night.
Like. Okay, sweetheart. Thank you for calling.
Sunday night?
Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Well, that's our show today. Thank you so much, Laura Powers, for being here today.
It's always a pleasure to connect with you, Tricia, and be here today. Thank you.
It's my honor, my pleasure. HealingPowers.net, and you can find me TriciaCarrCharm.com, and those are my handles as well for social media. And join me again on Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific live. And thanks for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.